Imagine stumbling upon an entire city. Rows of apartment blocks, schools, shopping malls, even amusement parks, but there's no one there. No laughter, no footsteps, just wind echoing through crumbling walls and broken windows. These are not movie sets. These are real places. Once bustling cities now completely deserted. Across the globe, from China's forgotten megaprojects to America's Wild West relics, lie ghost towns and abandoned metropolises frozen in time. Some fell to war. Others were left behind by disasters, failed economies, or political secrets they don't want you to know about. Today, we take you deep into the shadows of human ambition to uncover the 20 largest abandoned cities on Earth. And some of these places are so eerie, so perfectly preserved, you'll swear time just stopped. Every city has a life, a heartbeat, streets that tell stories. But what happens when that heartbeat stops? These 20 cities once stood as symbols of progress, power, or prosperity. Now they serve as reminders of how quickly things can fall apart. Each city on this list has a different tale: radioactive fallout, economic collapse, political secrets, or natural disasters. But all share one thing in common: human beings walked away. And what's left behind is a haunting silence and a warning. Let's begin with the most famous ghost city on Earth. 1. Pripyat, Ukraine. If any city deserves the title Ground Zero of Abandonment, it's Pripyat. This wasn't just any town, it was an atomograd, built in 1970 to house workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Designed as a model Soviet city, clean, modern, and full of promise, it offered amenities like pools, cinemas, and a soon-to-open amusement park.
Night of the 25th of April 1986, sleep-deprived plant workers ran a series of tests on Reactor 4 during a period of routine maintenance. They wanted to see whether the reactor could still be cooled if the plant lost power.
But on April 26, 1986, reactor number 4 exploded, triggering the worst nuclear disaster in history. The nearby forest turned red from radiation. Within 36 hours after dangerous delays, 50,000 residents were evacuated, told it was only temporary. Consequently, they left everything behind: toys, books, cars, family pets, expecting to return shortly. They never did. Today, the city remains eerily intact within the guarded exclusion zone. Schools still hold textbooks on desks. A Ferris wheel stands motionless in the wind. Decay is evident as nature has begun to reclaim it, but the radiation lingers, especially in dangerous hotspots. Access is tightly controlled. It's not just a ghost town, it's a frozen moment in time. A chilling, silent monument to unforeseen catastrophe. 2. Ordos, China. Often dubbed the Ghost City of China, Ordos represents a uniquely modern mystery of abandonment through overreach. Specifically, its Kangbashi new area was built during China's real estate boom in the early 2000s. Fueled by coal wealth, this district was designed to house over 1 million residents. Planners filled it with futuristic architecture, wide boulevards, museums, stadiums, luxury apartments, all built in anticipation of a population that never came. The core reason? Over-speculation drove property prices sky high while the location remained remote. The city became a monument to real estate ambition gone wrong. Consequently, today, Ordos Kangbashi stands nearly empty, with perhaps tens of thousands of residents scattered across its massive footprint, far short of capacity. Eerily, infrastructure functions perfectly. Streetlights still turn on every night, lighting up roads that no one drives. It remains a 21st century ghost town, perfectly preserved yet profoundly underinhabited, a symbol of speculative urbanism's risks. 3. Hashima Island, Japan. Instantly recognizable and often known as Battleship Island, Gunkanjima, Hashima was once one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Located off Nagasaki, it was a coal mining facility run by Mitsubishi, exploiting rich undersea seams from 1890. To accommodate the workforce, it became home to more than 5,000 people crammed onto a single, tiny 16-acre island. A concrete fortress arose, apartments stacked like Lego bricks, shops, schools, hospitals, all built into one concrete complex lashed by typhoons. Life was harsh, but a community existed. When the coal ran out and Japan shifted to oil, the mine closed in 1974. The residents left almost overnight. Since then, salt air and time have crumbled the buildings. Its haunting decay and eerie silence has earned it roles in films like James Bond's Skyfall. But behind the decay are darker secrets: forced labor of Korean and Chinese conscripts during World War II, enduring wartime exploitation, and a history the government once tried to forget. Hashima is a potent relic of industrial might, sudden collapse, and hidden trauma. 4. Famagusta, Varosha, Cyprus. Before its tragic sealing, the Varosha quarter of Famagusta was a glamorous resort town in the 1970s. Regarded as Cyprus's top tourist destination, Famagusta attracted celebrities and jet-setters to its sun-kissed beaches and luxurious high-rise hotels. Icons like Elizabeth Taylor frequented its shores. But in 1974, Turkey invaded Cyprus in response to a coup. As the Turkish army advanced, the Greek Cypriot residents fled, expecting to return soon. Instead, the Turkish military fenced off the entire Varosha district. Ever since then, it has remained untouched, a sealed-off no-man's land under military control. For decades, it was a disturbing time capsule. Hotels still tower over empty beaches. Beach towels still sit on balconies. It looked like everyone vanished in an instant. Varosha became a global symbol of the frozen Cyprus conflict. In recent years, Turkey has begun reopening parts of it, controversially allowing limited access, but political tensions keep it locked in a surreal state between life and death. 5. Kolmanskop, Namibia. Emerging from the Namib desert sands, Kolmanskop is what happens when the desert reclaims its own. This ghost town owes its existence to a chance diamond discovery in 1908. It quickly became a booming diamond mining town in the early 1900s. Fueled by incredible wealth, Kolmanskop was built by German colonial settlers with all the luxuries of home, including a hospital, bowling alley, and even Africa's first X-ray station, used partly to detect diamond theft. It was an improbable oasis of European architecture and amenities, but when the diamonds dried up and richer deposits were found further south, the town's fate was sealed. Decline began after World War I, and by 1956, Kolmanskop was abandoned. The desert moved back in relentlessly. Today, its buildings are half buried in sand. Staircases lead to nowhere. Doorways open into dunes. It's now a popular tourist site, offering a dreamlike place, beautiful and haunting all at once, a stark visual metaphor for fleeting fortune. 6. Bodie, California, USA. In the late 1800s, Bodie was a gold rush boomtown high in the Sierra Nevada mountains, notorious for its wild character. It grew rapidly to over 10,000 residents, boasting 60 saloons, gambling dens, and a deserved reputation for lawlessness. Shootouts were common, but as quickly as it rose, Bodie fell. The easily accessible gold depleted, and major fires destroyed parts of the town. By the 1940s, it was completely deserted. What makes Bodie special is its preservation. Today, it's preserved by California parks in a state of arrested decay. Buildings are stabilized but not restored. When you walk its streets and peer through windows, you'll see everything as it was. School books on desks, plates on tables, dust-covered pianos in saloons. It offers an incredibly authentic feel. Bodie isn't just abandoned, it's perfectly paused, offering a chillingly real glimpse into the harsh life of the Wild West. 7. Thamestown, China. Thamestown offers a surreal slice of England, in China. Part of Shanghai's One City, Nine Towns project aimed at decentralizing population, it was built in 2006 as an incredibly detailed architectural replica of a traditional British village. You'll find red phone boxes, cobblestone streets, and Tudor-style homes, alongside a Gothic church and English-style pubs. It was meticulously designed and built to house thousands, but while the structures were completed, most of it stands empty. The main reasons cited are high property prices and poor urban planning, including inconvenient transport links. Consequently, it's now a hotspot for wedding photos, but not much else. For years, it felt like a fake town without real life. A strangely beautiful but largely deserted simulacrum, highlighting the pitfalls of top-down themed urban development. 8. North Brother Island, New York, USA. Easily missed but hidden in the East River between the Bronx and Rikers Island lies North Brother Island, a place with a dark past. This 20-acre island primarily housed Riverside Hospital, which, from the 1880s, quarantined patients with infectious diseases like smallpox and typhoid. Its most famously confined resident was Typhoid Mary Mallon, the first identified asymptomatic carrier of typhoid fever in the U.S., held here for over 2 decades until her death. The island was later used for veteran housing and controversial teen rehab programs, but closed for good in the 1960s amid scandals. Today, it's completely abandoned and off-limits to the public, designated a bird sanctuary. Its buildings are a decaying ruin, swallowed by vines and silence. An eerie, inaccessible relic of the city's public health history being reclaimed by nature. 9. Plymouth, Montserrat. This Caribbean city experienced a fate similar to Pompeii, but from a volcano erupting in modern times. In 1995, the Soufriere Hills volcano erupted, ending centuries of dormancy. Over 2 years, activity escalated, culminating in catastrophic events in 1997 that sent pyroclastic flows and mud flows burying the capital of Montserrat in ash. Plymouth was once a vibrant Caribbean city, the island's administrative and commercial heart. Now it's a modern Pompeii. The destruction was swift and total. Entire buildings sit buried up to their roofs. Streets are inaccessible. Tragically, life ended here almost instantly for 19 people who hadn't evacuated restricted zones. The government declared the southern half of the island, including Plymouth, an exclusion zone. It remains abandoned, a ghost capital frozen under tons of volcanic debris, a stark visual of nature's overwhelming power. 10. Kennecott, Alaska, USA. Located high in the Wrangell Mountains of Alaska, Kennecott was a copper mining town built on one of the richest deposits ever found. Operating from 1911 to 1938, it once produced over $200 million in ore. This remote company town had hospitals, a skating rink, even a dairy alongside the massive, iconic Red concentration mill. A feat of engineering, a 196 miles railway transported the ore out. But when the high-grade copper veins ran dry in the 1930s, people vanished. The closure was abrupt. The last train left in November 1938, leaving the town almost fully equipped. Now, its red wooden buildings sit stark against the snow and glaciers. Preserved due to its isolation, it's part of a national historic landmark, haunting, majestic, and silent, a remarkable relic of early 20th century industry in the wilderness. 11. Oradour-sur-Glane, France. This French village stands unique among ghost towns, preserved not by accident but as a deliberate, harrowing memorial. On June 10, 1944, Nazi SS troops massacred 642 villagers, men, women, and children, in retaliation for resistance activities, wiping out nearly the entire population in hours. After the war, rather than rebuild, France left the ruins untouched as a memorial. The decision ensures the atrocity is never forgotten. Visitors today walk through the original village. Burned-out cars remain. Bullet holes scar walls. Bicycles and toys lie exactly where they were dropped. The skeletal church where women and children perished is particularly chilling. It is one of the most chilling and sacred ghost towns in the world, a powerful testament to wartime brutality and the importance of remembrance. 12. Ashgabat, Turkmenistan. While technically not abandoned, it's a functioning capital. Ashgabat often feels eerily empty. Known as the City of White Marble, Ashgabat, the capital of Turkmenistan, is a gleaming city of hundreds of marble buildings and golden statues, built under the authoritarian rule of Presidents Niyazov and Berdimuhamedov, using vast gas wealth. Despite its grandeur, most buildings remain unused or underutilized. Streets are spotless but deserted. The monumental scale, wide boulevards, and vast plazas discourage pedestrian life. Locals are reportedly discouraged from walking around after dark. Furthermore, drones and security cameras monitor all movement. The result is a surreal paradox, a populated capital that functions with the atmosphere of a ghost city in plain sight, prioritizing imposing aesthetics over organic urban life. 13. Fordlandia, Brazil. An industrialist's dream turned Amazonian nightmare. In the 1920s, Henry Ford bought land in the Amazon rainforest to create a rubber-producing town to supply his car empire. His vision extended beyond production. He called it Fordlandia and aimed to transplant American life, architecture, work schedules, even food and social norms into the jungle. But it failed miserably. Ford ignored botanical advice. The workers rebelled against strict American rules like prohibition and mandatory square dancing. The rubber trees got infected with leaf blight due to unsuitable planting methods. Fordlandia never produced significant latex. After huge losses, Ford sold it back to Brazil in 1945. Now the remnants of this bizarre experiment sit overgrown in the jungle, decaying structures swallowed by vegetation, a forgotten dream of industrial utopia. 14. Craco, Italy. Clinging dramatically to a hilltop in southern Italy, Craco is a medieval ghost town whose beauty belies its precarious existence. Founded centuries ago, it survived plagues and conflicts. However, its end came not from war, but geology. Craco was plagued by landslides and earthquakes throughout the 20th century. Poorly planned infrastructure work on unstable clay likely worsened the situation. A major landslide in 1963 began the exodus, and subsequent quakes accelerated it. By the 1980s, it was entirely abandoned. Residents relocated to a new town below. But its dramatic cliffs and ancient ruins have turned it into a popular film location for movies like The Passion of the Christ. Today its beauty remains, attracting photographers and filmmakers. But no one lives there anymore, a stunning testament to nature's slow victory. 15. Xiongan, China.
2 years ago, this was all farmland. Xiongan, a city of almost 2,000 square kilometers, was built from scratch in just 6 years.
Xiongan New Area, launched in 2017, is China's colossal project to build a futuristic city from scratch, 100 kilometers from Beijing. It's a top national priority, designed as an eco-friendly smart city to relieve pressure on the capital by hosting government functions, universities, and companies. Billions are being poured into state-of-the-art infrastructure across a potentially vast area. However, attracting the necessary millions of residents and businesses to justify this scale is proving challenging. While construction advances rapidly, many completed zones feel underpopulated. Xiongan embodies immense ambition, but also carries the risk of becoming the world's largest planned ghost city if it fails to achieve critical mass, a monumental gamble on future urbanism. 16. Zhi Pod City, Taiwan. A bizarre architectural footnote, this UFO-shaped housing project outside Taipei was meant to be a luxury resort in the 1970s. Featuring colorful, futuristic pods on stilts, it targeted affluent buyers. But financial troubles and persistent rumors of strange accidents during construction, blamed on curses or disturbed spirits, led to its abandonment before completion in 1980. For decades, the eerie, decaying pods stood empty by the sea, a cult favorite for urban explorers. Today, the pods have been mostly demolished, but their eerie legacy remains an urban legend, a story of a failed, futuristic vision intertwined with ghostly folklore. 17. Agdam, Azerbaijan.
This is all that remains of Agdam, an Azerbaijani city once home to some 40,000 people before it fell to Armenian forces in 1993.
Once home to over 40,000 people, Agdam was utterly destroyed during the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict in the 1990s. Captured by Armenian forces in 1993, the city was systematically looted and razed, allegedly to prevent its reuse as an Azerbaijani military base. It became a vast, empty landscape of rubble, often dubbed the Hiroshima of the Caucasus. Its shattered buildings and deserted streets bear silent witness to war's total devastation. After nearly 30 years as a heavily mined ghost city, Azerbaijan regained control in 2020 and has begun the monumental task of clearing mines and planning reconstruction. For now, it remains one of the world's starkest examples of a city erased by conflict.
This city may be deserted, but it's not forgotten. And while an end might not be in sight for the first time in decades, Agdam has hope.
18. Centralia, Pennsylvania, USA. This American town is being consumed by an underground coal fire that has been burning beneath it since 1962, likely ignited by trash burning in an old mine pit. The fire spread through abandoned tunnels, making the ground unstable. Toxic gases seeped out. Smoke pours from cracks, and roads buckled, including the famed graffiti highway, now buried. By the 1980s, the situation forced a federal relocation program. Most residents were relocated, their homes demolished. Only a handful remain. The subterranean fire could burn for centuries more. The eerie landscape and backstory famously inspired the horror game Silent Hill. Centralia is a chilling example of environmental disaster slowly erasing a community. 19. Belchite, Spain. The ruins of Belchite are a deliberate monument to conflict. The town was destroyed during fierce fighting in the Spanish Civil War in 1937. After his victory, nationalist leader Franco left it unrebuilt, preserving the ruins as a monument to his victory and the war's devastation. A new town was built nearby. Today, its ruins are open to visitors, showcasing skeletal churches and bombed-out houses scarred by bullets. It stands as a powerful, somber reminder of the war's brutality, where time and silence rule over a landscape frozen in destruction. 20. Kangbashi District, China. Focusing specifically on the new district within Ordos, Kangbashi is the most infamous ghost city in China. Built with incredible speed and scale, it was designed to hold 300,000 residents, possibly more, with monumental architecture and vast infrastructure. It never filled up. Despite government efforts to relocate people and institutions, large portions remain eerily underpopulated years after completion. Visitors still find empty towers, deserted plazas, unused stadiums, a haunting vision of overplanning and speculative development that vastly outpaced demand, creating a modern metropolis waiting for its people. Cities without people, memories without voices. These cities may be empty, but they're not forgotten. Each stands as a reminder of ambition, of tragedy, of the limits of control. Whether lost to time, nature, war, or greed, they tell stories we're often not meant to hear. And as the world continues to change, more cities may join their ranks. So the next time you walk through a crowded street or hear the buzz of daily life, remember, not all cities stay alive forever. Subscribe for more hidden stories from around the world. Like, comment, and share. Which city haunted you the most? And until next time, stay curious.